Hey guys, it is me again, as you can see. As Del Boy says, as you can see. Today is Friday the 15th of February. Makes it day 46 on our Daily Bread Project 2013. Guys, sorry about being so late tonight, but I guess being late's better than not being here. Let's see here, my computer don't try to mess up on me. It's running slow, and I got to exit out of some little things running down at the bottom. Kind of speed it up. I can tell my camera's trying to lag behind. Let me take just 1 second here. I forgot to do that. Okay, maybe that'll help. Anyway, like I said, guys, it's good to be here tonight. Again, sorry for being late. I've been out there working on the lathe. I'm going to build me a test bar, they call it. I don't know. Sometimes I get the inclination that my lathe is not turning dead straight. I mean, like when I turn something, it acts like closer you get to the chuck, it's got taper in it. You know, not much. I mean, like over 3 or 4 inches, maybe 2 or 3 thousandths, but still, that's more than, you know, if you're making something that needs to be a press fit or a tight fit or a slip fit or something that has to be a tight tolerance. 2 or 3 thousandths difference on one end. I mean, that can make a big difference. So anyway, what Grizzly tells you to do is to, I was getting this because this is what I've done it with. They tell you to take a piece of material about 6 inches in length, and that's what that is, and take and put another piece of material a couple inches long in the chuck and turn a 30 or a 60-degree taper on it. I mean, turn it down to a point, turn it down to where you can use it as a center. Well, once you do that, you take the piece you're using, center drill it, and put this in your center that you've turned in your chuck, and put the other end in the tailstock. You know what you're doing? You're checking your tailstock alignment, your part at the end that, like, your drill bit goes in if you're drilling, or the part that also holds your work if you're doing something kind of long. Anyway, you've got to use what they call a lathe dog, which it hooks right here, or just hooks on one of the ends closest to the chuck. I made mine. I made a lathe dog, and it kind of just wraps around here, and it's got a little finger that comes out on it that sticks into the chuck that actually spins this, because if you just got it sticking on the center, there's no way to spin it. Anyway, and you turn it, and as you can tell, right here there's a line. I turned it from there down to right here, which puts it about 5 inches of turning, and it says 5 to 6 inches. And then they say measure it here, and then measure it down here, and if the measurement is smaller down here towards the chuck end, then it tells you which way to move your tailstock, that it's out, and then if it's smaller on the other end, they tell you which way to move it. Basically, if it's not the same size on both ends, you've got taper, so it's out. But now, guys, this right here, I've done it the way Grizzly said and checked it, and it's within a 1/2 thousandth of an inch of being the same on both ends here. So, according to that test, it's good. Everything's dead lined up. But just, sometimes I can turn something, and I think it's just maybe I'm trying to stick stuff out of the chuck too far. But I was turning a piece of, I don't remember what I was turning the other day, but it was fairly decent in diameter. I mean, it was an inch or bigger in diameter, sticking out maybe 3 inches, and 2.5 or 3 inches, and it had just a little taper in it when I got done turning it, like 2 thousandths or 1.5 or something. And it may be just where I'm letting stuff stick out too far, and I know if you got stuff sticking out of the chuck too far, your tool bit pressing against it away from the chuck, tends to press it away from it, and then the closer it gets to the chuck, it can't press it, so it has to cut it. So I'm thinking that's what it is, but I'm not for sure. Anyway, what I'm getting at, Tubal-Cain, Mr. Pete 222. Any of you guys that want to watch machine videos, lathe, milling machine, any kind of that stuff, subscribe to him, watch his stuff. I'm thinking he's a retired, he taught machinery, classes in, I don't know if it was a vocational school or a high school, but, and so he's really good at it. Keith Fenner's another one. There's several of them I could suggest. But anyway, what I was getting at, Mr. Pete says the way to do it is make one a foot long, make a piece. Get you a piece of and guys, I'm hurrying here, so I can get done with my Bible reading and still not be too long. He says get you a piece of either 3/4 of an inch or inch tool steel. You know, good straight steel. You know, steel you can count to be dimensionally right, fairly straight. And then what you do is you get you 2 pieces of bigger material. Aluminum, I think is what he used. I'm not for sure. That's what I'm using. And I'm using pieces that are 2.5 inch. And then you bore a hole in them, and then you make them to where they're a slip fit on that shaft, but a tight fit, you know, within a thousandth or two. And then you use Loctite, a bearing locker or stud locker, whatever you want to call it. It's not regular Loctite thread locker. And you lock them on there. You put one at one end, one on the other. You know, you leave a couple inches, but so basically you got these things sitting like 8 inches apart. Well, you do the same thing. You put it between the centers of your lathe, and you go through and you turn each one of them the same amount. You know, you let your carriage just go and clip off both of them. So basically, when you're done, you've got a foot long bar, 3/4 inch round, with these 2 big pieces of aluminum that are an inch wide, mine are an inch wide, sticking on each end. Kind of looks like a big, goofy looking camshaft, but so you make a pass, turn both of them, then you measure and you see if they're both the same or not. You know, so it's just a little bit way of checking it, a little bit different way. So that's what I've been doing tonight. I ordered me a piece of drill rod, like $5 or something, and 2 little pieces of aluminum. I've got like $9 or $10 in the whole setup, but you know I've had to turn it all down, uh, drill holes in it. I got one of them done tonight. I got it faced off, cut down where it'd stay true in the chuck, center drilled it, drilled a hole through it, and bored it out to, my drill rod is 750 thousandths, and I bored this to 751 and a half, 752, right in that neighborhood. And it's a good, I mean, you can screw it, you know, you can press it up on there with your hand, but it's still, you know, it don't have a big bunch of wobble in it. And the Loctite I'm using says it will fill in gaps and lock something down up to 15 thousandths of an inch gap. So I've got less than 2 thousandths, so it should do a good job. So I'm going to try to finish that this weekend. They say it's supposed to be cold here tomorrow, a high of only around freezing, 30 to 32. Just mucky, rain, snow, sleet mixed all weekend, you know, just, so I figured it'd be a good weekend to maybe try to do that project. So I'm going to try to finish that tomorrow. Anyway, guys, I didn't mean to waste all this time telling you that. It's just that's what I've been doing. I also had to fix something on the lathe. I didn't have this lathe that wasn't using it 2 weeks, and it uses 2 bolts that come up through the bed, the cross slide that bolt your compound slide down, which is your thing that holds your tool bit. Anyway, it uses 2 6mm bolts, and someday when I get time and can figure out how to do it, I'm going to try to rig it up where I can use bigger bolts. Because I just think 6mm is too small to be holding something down that, you know, has to be that rigid, that has to hold cutting tools that are cutting stuff. You know, I'm cutting this aluminum at 600 RPM, but, you know, sometimes you'll cut it at 1,000, you know, something. To me, that's just not enough bolt to be holding something like that down. But anyway, within 2 weeks of using a lathe, had one strip out, you know, just snugging them down. So I ended up having to washer them to put the nuts in, you know, to washer this one. Well, here last week, my other one strips out, so I had to washer it. I got to looking at them, guys. I cannot find on McMaster-Carr or anywhere else a grade of bolt this weak. McMaster-Carr, the weakest grade, and it even calls it a low strength bolt. The lowest strength metric bolt they've got is a metric rating of a 8.8, I think. The strongest is a 10.9, which is the same as grade 8, with what you call grade 8 American bolt. Guys, these bolts are a 4.8, or 4.8 or 4.9 grade. It's got stamped on the head. And the nut, you can screw the nut on them, and the nuts just wobble. So I've ordered me some grade 8 nuts and bolts from McMaster-Carr to bolt that thing down with. And you can really put your wrench down on them now, and you don't have to worry about it stripping. Got a whole box of them, 50 a piece, so shouldn't have to worry about that anymore. But like I said, one day I'm going to try to rig it up to where I can use a little bit bigger bolt. So anyway, guys, I'm just tickled. I mean, I know I've jibber-jabber a lot tonight, but I'm tickled that this actually, so far, this project's turning out pretty good. You know, my whole board, you know, pretty concentric and accurate, and you know, and I got a good fit on it, so I'm gonna try to even get a better fit on the other one. Like I said, it's less than 2,000. It's probably about 1,000 and a half slip fit. But I'm gonna try to maybe go for 1,000. The only thing is, you get under 1,000, and it gets where you can hardly push it on by hand. And I don't want to have to press it on. You know, I want to be able to put it on by hand. But once that Loctite locks it in, it won't move for anything. But anyway, guys, I guess we'll get on with what we're here to do, and that is, of course, read the Word of God. Guys, I did get to draw a paycheck today, at least most of a paycheck. I was about $50 short of what I normally, well, more like $100 short of what I normally draw. But you know, pray tonight that we get a little business comes in tomorrow, and you know, maybe I'll get to draw a little bit more tomorrow. But I thank the Lord for that. You know, you can tell that the tax checks are starting to pop a little bit, because I think, like I told you guys last night, the ATV parts is really where I'm noticing it. We've sold more ATV parts this week, four-wheeler tires, just parts in general, than probably I have parts. I've sold more parts this week probably than we have in the last month and a half. I've sold more tires this week than I have all winter. So, you know, you can tell stuff's popping loose. So, anyway, guys, let's get to the important thing tonight. That is, of course, the Word of God. Try to keep this video under 15 minutes. Excuse me, guys. Worked out tonight, so I'm a little bit tired. I can hardly hold my arms up. But pray for me, guys. I'll be honest. Pray for me that I can get back into my work. You know, I had to miss both workouts this week because my buddy couldn't get home from work, which, you know, that can't be helped. We worked out tonight. Can't work out tomorrow night, so it'll probably be Tuesday again. But my big thing is, too, guys, I've started slacking on my cardio. I was doing 15 to 20 minutes of cardio every night on my elliptical. Now I'm hit and miss doing it, and I can tell a difference already. I don't want to get back in the shape I was in. I mean, I've lost 20 pounds over what I was. I went from 240 to 2. Well, actually, I weighed tonight, I was 219. So I've lost 21 pounds of weight. I've got stronger. I've got, you know, I've just got all around better shape. And I don't want to lose it. So you guys just pray for me that the Lord will give me the strength to keep doing it. Because it does get harder after a while. You know, when it's new and kind of exciting, and it's, you know, it's easier to do it. But anyway, guys, pray for me. Revelation chapter 12, starting in verse 11. Here we go. And they have conquered him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony, for they loved not their lives, even unto death. Never mind, guys. I had an optical illusion. I thought I seen something under here. Therefore rejoice, O heavens, and you who dwell in them. But woe to you, O earth and sea, for the devil has come down to you in great wrath, because he knows that his time is short. Now, guys, I honestly believe, you know, sometimes that's what's going on right now. And, you know, it's just like, I've never seen a time where hearts are so cold, and just so many people just doing so many bad things, and, you know, and the devil attacking everybody. It's like, you know, he knows, you know, that he's getting her to go down, that he's getting her to be whooped and put in the cage, and so he's trying to take everybody with him. You know, that's a misconception, guys. A lot of people think. You ask 9 out of 10 people today that even if they believe in the devil, of course we know that he's real. He's as real as me and you. Where's the devil at? Well, he's in hell. No, he's not. You know, the devil walks the earth today. Devil's not in hell yet. You know, God's not wrangled him up and thrown him in there yet. You know, he's going to. He's got a plan for that. We wonder sometimes, why does God hasn't he already done it? You know, I preached on that one day. Why hasn't he already done it? You know, if he would have thrown the devil in there 2,000 years ago or something, or whenever he fell, you know, look how much better it would make our lives. But, you know, that's not God's plan. So, you know, the devil's trying to take everybody down that he can. Verse 13, and when the dragon saw that he had been thrown down to earth, he pursued the woman who had given birth to the male child. But the woman was given the 2 wings of the great eagle, so that she might fly from the serpent into the wilderness, to the place where she is to be nourished for a time and times and half a time. The serpent poured water like a river out of his mouth after the woman, to sweep her away with a flood. But the earth came to the help of the woman, and the earth opened its mouth and swallowed the river that the dragon had poured from his mouth. Then the dragon became furious with the woman and went off to make war on the rest of her offspring, on those who kept the commandment of God, the commandments of God, and hold the testimony of Jesus, to the testimony of Jesus. And he stood on the sand of the sea. So that's verse 17. Let's go ahead and go into chapter 13 here, verse 1. Looks like what was about 6 verses, so let's do about 4 here. And I saw a beast rising out of the sea with 10 horns and 7 heads, with 10 diadems on its horns and blasphemous names on its heads. And the beast that I saw was like a leopard, his feet were like a bear's, and its mouth was like a lion's mouth. And to it the dragon gave his power and his throne and great authority. One of its heads seemed to have a mortal wound, but its mortal wound was healed, and the whole earth marveled as they followed the beast. Now this is, of course, talking about, we're getting into the Antichrist stuff. And they worshiped the dragon, for he had given his authority to the beast. Of course, that's, the devil's going to give his authority and his power to the Antichrist. Like, again, every Christian, I think, has got a different opinion on what the Antichrist is, who it is, if it's a single person, if it's a, blah, 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 I've heard every different theory in the world. And they worshiped the dragon, for he had given his authority to the beast, and they worshiped the beast, saying, who is like the beast, and who can fight against it? Because he's going to do great wonders and marvels, guys. And, that's the way we are as humans. We look for marvels and signs and wonders, and, a lot of people say that. Well, if God's real and God's here, why doesn't he show us? Why doesn't he show us his power? Why doesn't he do these things? Because if you have to see God to believe he's there, what does it benefit you? You have no faith. The Bible even says that the people that believe without seeing, are going to be more blessed than the people that's even like when Jesus walked the earth and seen what he done. We're going to be more blessed than they are because, if we believe without seeing. God could. He could show us all these things, all these different signs and wonders, because as humans, that's what we look for, But if we'll open up our eyes and look at the things around us every day, we can see those things. The devil and the world just makes us blind to them. So anyway, guys, that's where we're going to stop tonight. We went over 15 minutes a little bit, but excuse me. Guys, as always, thank y'all for being here. I love you all. Just keep praying for us, and I just pray for you all. If y'all need anything, as always, don't hesitate to let me know. Send me an email, send me a message, whatever you need to do. So I guess that's about it, guys. So, good Lord willing, guys, I'll be here tomorrow night. Until I see y'all again, good night, and God bless.